Ugh. Hello again. Hi everyone. Metaphysical Mama. Hopefully this is working now. How is everyone? It is 4:04 where I reside presently. I like that number. Here I am. Holy diver. Crash. So I can't do the typing thing because I'm like walking around with my like stick now. But anyhow, so I'm just kind of going in because I had like, I'm just surfing dimensionally, cosmically, vibrationally, however we want to refer to the sleigh ride or surf or etc. etc. So what do I want to get into? You know, actually, I had pulled up a Sabian symbol, so I'm gonna read that because I enjoy these, and I think these are always a good to connect with. They're usually right on too. I know. I'm happy we connected. Yep, we're all, you know, again, and too, nothing like the word coincidence. Sorry, I see my big messy tarot crap back there. Of course, yeah. Of course, that's why, you know, I'm here to, yeah. You know, however that goes, that's the right, like the fun part of helping all one another is that we don't know, right? Like how the equal energy exchange is going to be. We just, as long as we're present and we just show up, right? Energetically, because magnet is the fifth element, right? And then a spirit and ether and soul. So we have more than five, you know, more than five senses of, you know, beyond human, including intuition, telepathy, right? So it's becoming more and more gentle with ourselves to slow down because the world's still here. It's like the people in it and how we treat it are crappy. We all learn different, you know. Um, we all go different, you know. We all have different knowledge that we come with due to the elements that we are carrying in our holy grail, our vessel, right? Our temple, our house, our human body, our avatar, etc., right? Our tree of life. I'm trying to just go into how many, right, different versions that there are, multiverses, right? So when we allow words to dance and have more meanings than we originally have given them definition to, right? Because we've accepted that that's what that's called. That's what that is. This is how I feel. They, right? So those kind of things that come, which are natural. So we don't want to be like, oh, or, you know, like when we catch ourselves doing these things, like casting out or reacting, right? It's a chemical reaction. So when we have an emotion or something that is giving us a, you know, charge, I like when people use cards again because experiment. I could have faded on me. I'll reread the readings, yeah, after. But I will definitely talk with you. talk with you, and I can leave you my number, and you know, we can communicate too, so we can do private, you know, something. um, so let me see. So, oh, let me say my email, because I have nothing set up. I really suck. Sorry at like all that stuff. So, but I do have an email presently. It's, well, it's just my name. So anyway, but yeah, whatever. It's Sarah, SARAH dot Spika, SPIKA, lowercase, 0519 at gmail.com. So you can email me on that, and then I have to set up probably a separate email to just, you know, have for this or whatever, because otherwise it's gonna get lost in the shuffle. But so anyhow, so just the extra little, and for whoever, because I'm gonna definitely, I want to connect more on one-on-one, you know, with others like we are here. And you know, this is like, again, nobody is where they aren't supposed to be if well, they're not really, you know, because everything is for an experience, really. And magnet, so the word coincidence, that's what I was going to say before. The word coincidence means coinciding, so in sync, happening at the same time, right? So it's not like by chance or by luck. That's what really kind of doesn't exist. You know, it's like there's variables, so there's many options, right? There's like, if I do this, it's like a game, really, playing a video game, and I make this decision, and then people play multiple players now, right? Oh, and so depending on what the other player does is how, right? So it's really the same, everything's a metaphor to kind of come, you know, if we want to bring it to banking systems, you know, for those that can relate it more to mathematicals, you know, it's like, you know, it's reconciling our checks and balances, and, you know, our taxes, and, you know, finding out where, you know, if there's a mistake in, or whatever, if there's an imbalance, that's all, not a mistake, an imbalance, right? People crazy out there. They cut a bunch of trees down out there today. So loud. I wanted to do a video earlier and I couldn't because they were cutting trees down. So not bad though. I mean, they're kind of old and very thin trees next to the road. So they needed, I think, to become recycled compost. So anyhow, what was I saying? Sorry, I got distracted by the beepers out there for a second. Ooh, anti-popular girl. I got some really cool new cards too. Wait, I didn't see what you said because it disappeared on me. Let me see if I can. I'm not used to these phones and recordings and stuff, guys. Now we're recording myself, really. Complete flopper. Sorry, but I'm bumped. So anyhow, let me go to reading the Sabian symbol, because see, I do apologize. It'll come back, it always does, but for the present moment, I'm moving on. My phone's about to die, I need to run outside. I left my charger in the truck. Cool, I'll be here. So the Sabian symbol that I had pulled up before, and I haven't read it all yet, so it's Taurus 11. It says, I'm gonna read it. Hopefully you can hear me and I don't fumble. I'm a mess, sorry. This is real life here. This symbol, okay, it's a person sprinkling long rows of flowers. This symbol shows the need to take time to nurture your physical self. The mind needs time to take a rest, and the body needs to be allowed to come to bloom and bask a little in the light or the dark. Keeping an eye on things that you are responsible for will ensure that they don't dry out and fade away ahead of or before their time. I'm just gonna stop for a second right there, because that's like, I was 1 hour, 10 minutes, 44 seconds. Yeah, keeping an eye on things that you are responsible for will ensure that they don't dry out and fade away ahead of or before their time. So a lot of time, everybody thinks so externally, which is okay, of course, fine, and it's part of. You didn't miss much but a sentence. So keeping an eye on things we're responsible for, that's our thoughts, our actions, the feelings that we are allowing to fester up inside of us, that we're carrying around like, luggage, or running with stuff. You could be running with stuff in front of you, like carrying it all over the place. People, a lot of people are running around with their fingers pointing, right? That one and this one and blah. So that's that charge, right? They constantly want to keep jumping out of their skin, scattered like ghosts, fragmenting themselves all over the place. So these energetic behaviorisms that we all participate in, getting mad and flying off the handle and, freaking out at somebody, saying things that we don't mean, out of unprocessed energy, flowing up through our vessel, through our body, right? Like a fuel injection, like a rocket ship. And there we go. I know some people that do that shit often. Yeah, I'm aware. I love you for that. That's that doppelganger fucking bullshit. Harbinger. I sound like a robot again. Buffy's for real though. It's my evil twin. Wow. That's not part of this body. It's a totally different person. Tara Brown. Yeah. In a different room. Oh my goodness. You guys have no idea. And that's in the real. Like in the physical, obviously, and beyond. It's like just... I think some of you do know. But it's quite, I don't know, tiresome, but nah, it's like, can you hear me better now? Am I buffering? You said you couldn't hear me? Maybe I need to stay very still. So yeah, Van Helsing. Now that, she's more like, yeah, me. The other one is more like, that other one is like, some just have that natural, really? That's what was happening on my computer before. I was like, I looked like complete, like weird stuff was happening. Whatever, because that's it. Well, exactly. We're crashing systems, and that's literal. Because, listen, it really is so within. I'm crashing my own. Can you imagine? Of course. Of course. They have. Silly. Why do you think we're all here? Because there's no love between everyone? You know. Yeah, but everybody literally is all part of the whole, like one big melting pot of, soup. The whole cosmos is all the elements, right? So there's some that were, elementally from space, right? From outer, before in the original dark, before there's light, before any of the elements had, banged and created the Elohim, right? Which is the periodic table here. Okay. See you next time. Yeah, media. Okay. Everything is, it's like important to read between the lines of things. Everything is algorithm, right? Algorithm. So when the trick, it's not a trick, is to not get tricked by words. It's really that simple, or by others' energy pulling, pushing, tugging, trying to incorporate their fearful tactics of us not maybe being able to have basic necessities, or and again, using technology, it's like if I steal something from somebody and then I'm using it and I'm like out, like, this is my ring, but say I'm out and this was someone else's ring and they're like, that's my ring, and I'm like, no, it's not. Or I'm embarrassed, if your sisters, you ever wear your sister's sweater or jacket and you're not supposed to, and they're like, you have my freaking stuff. And you're like, shit. Sorry. Right? Which could go a lot more extreme than that. I'm just giving a nice light example because I'm trying to go, be nice. But that can go into the really deep depths of, terrorism. The whole spectrum. The whole spectrum. The whole wheel. And black and white polarities, and positive and negative. So there's like, emotion, thought, positive, negative, and then the whole wheel spectrum of smorgasbord in the middle. So there's so many different, no two people will ever perceive anything the same, no matter what. Whether they're looking at something, watching a movie, people in a classroom never perceive the same. So why would we fight and try to mandate and control one another to think, feel, and act and be the same as us, or that we're supposed to be? Did we do that at one? I mean, okay, let me also because it's not that was all for nothing, that the way that we have been living, okay, the way that we have been living, like we'll say past, because right now is now and the time is always now, right? So we're in the present right now, whatever that time is for you. For me, it's 4:23. I made it into numerology, 423. And to stay in the present moment, in the now, is now how we recognize all the things that we have already done, because that's what we want when we need it. That's our toolbox, or our, makeup bag or Mary Poppins bag or whatever you want to call it, your magic sack, your bag of tricks, your gifts, your like Santa sack, right? Like Santa carries a sack, right? So is Satan Santa so bad? You know, on one extreme, right, the polarity, because everything has to have a complete opposite. So can't blame someone's a personal original nature. They're still going through, if they're going through their lessons in life to get to learn themselves, right? They can't, if we don't give time and space for each other, right, to allowance, right, like money allowance, we need time and space. Sometimes we need days, weeks, and months, and that's okay too, away from somebody, because we're filtering it. Things are rocky right now. You know, us as human have so many expectations because of fear of abandonment, or that somebody's going to take the person, or they're going to leave us, or yeah, big apple Eve for now. But it's again, you know, that's it. And when we, okay, so is anything really bad? No, because again, it's like, think of everything almost as a puzzle at this point, right? So it's like getting to the labyrinth. So like a, you know, a PI slash kid going through like Candyland slash a haunted house slash science class slash earth school slash space school, right? Outer space or whatever you want, right? Whether, you know, star systems, because now we're starting to bring in the information from the outer realms, right? It's not just, oh, we're just here and now. Like everything's kind of been blooming, right? As we've all been going through this rocky, crazy, chaotic hell horse ride, right? But there's so many good things in between there. It's like a treasure hunt the whole way. This is like Indiana Jones and like and all of that, right? It's like X-Men and superhero movie. It's all comics. It's everything, you know. Some old Sumerian, ancient. Everything, Egyptology, they're so, it's whatever you relate, right? Everything, we're all related, okay? So everything's relative, and there's no such thing as evil, bad knowledge. It's just misunderstood. There are assholes and people that use things, but again, somebody that's acting in asshole status, right, is because why? Because they either have beat themselves up about a decision they made or something, or they don't feel good about themselves. They're in fear. Because the opposite of love is not hate, it's fear. So they're scared. They're not, or we, but they really, I mean, truly, again, and then when we get mad, then we're acting like the Hitler or mean, angry, you know, wicked stepmother, or you know, we're acting in the manners, you know, when we call people out and say we don't like how they behave, like that one did, you know, sometimes we, like, there is, right, where responsibility is on others, most definitely, that we, you know, have no, I arrived at. What? Okay, you just. I arrived at Tiffanys. I kind of got you there. You just threw me way out. It's like ejected me out of the. Thank you. I have to see again what you said so I can, but I know I just caught the end of that. I very much thank you. Whatever you just did. Breaking the codes. One Ocean Network. So thank you. Salah. Girl, where was I? Now I'm gone again. Gone again. It's like I call cuckoo. Yeah. I'm not even gonna apologize though, because the the energy it's like surfing choppy way. It's like cheer and then boom, bumped off. So again, I just ride them best I can, and it's a lot of juggling, and it's a lot of fun. And what was I saying? Yeah, about being patient and not in fear. Yeah, being more patient, willing to not hold on to our necessary belief, perception, or our stronghold. We're like holding on so tight to something, and we all are, because that's definitely, it's like really scary to let go of something that is familiar, or it's like people that have been in abusive relationships, and people are like, why do they always go back to them? It's like they do because it's familiar, because they know what to expect. And that goes on so many levels. None of us are very comfortable with change, even though change is truthfully the only constant. It's still uncomfortable and scary. It is, So the best way to make scary not as scary is to try to have fun with it, right? It's like we have haunted houses when it's Halloween time. We dress up, we scare each other, right? Sometimes we play tricks on each other and we sneak up and boo, right? And kids, we just do that to each other anyhow. So we like to play games and do things like that. But there's a difference in, right? And sometimes we're too smart for our own good. And, we tend to not take no for an answer, even when someone tells us no, that we can't do that, or not yet, we're not old enough, or it's not safe. And then if we keep trying to do it, they can get scared because they don't want us to get hurt, and then freak out. And then they're, so a lot of the time, all of this, think about, again, to give love to parents, teachers, any form of which we all are, that form of us, we have the best intention. We don't want to hurt each other. We want to, and we're used to doing stuff in a pattern, right? Gotta get up, gotta go, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So we're slowing that down. It's okay. We don't have to be so militant, right? It's not like switch or die now, right? Ultimate death, Pluto. It's like do or die. It's not like that. It's more like, but it is also like you can't just energetically not take care of the internal, we'll say dis-ease, because you're carrying around dis-ease if you're carrying around emotional baggage, or repeat stuff that keeps dwelling and banging in your head, in our heads, that repeat and go, oh, why does this keep happening? Or and the feelings that can come with those things can, again, they weigh on us. They make us dense, heavier, right? More So the goal is to, the more we clear those things, those are like magnetic splinters, you know, we clear the thought, we let the thought and the emotion connect, right? And because the thought comes from here, and the emotions come from the you know, from our feet up. And electricity comes up the left leg from the ground, and it arcs like a rainbow and goes down the right side of the body, the right leg, and then down back into the ground, back up the left leg. So like a rainbow, full circle, right? Electricity arcs, arc of the covenant, arc of Gabriel, right? Up. So you want to keep letting that energy energetically in your mind's eye, keeping it gentle, allow that energy to flow. And then that also, I'm gonna get real metaphysical, in return, because the crescent moon, if you think of like, because your human heart is here, your heart chakra, sorry, I didn't mind the, this is my favorite band in the whole galactic universes. Fishbone. So if you think of your, you know, okay, so our heart chakra, it's like, and this is where also magnet is, or like, right, our navigation system while we're in the water, right? Kind of bobbling here. This is where the desert area can kind of be, besides, right, the tubes, right? The Atlantean tube and the, we got the lungs that fill up with water, right? The pipes. So anyhow, so that, and this is like the desert area, right? And body of water, it's like 70 whatever percent water. And bear with me. So, how funny. That's not funny. So, and it's salt water, so which has a charge. It's a conductor of electricity, right? So we have electricity coming up through the left bottom foot, right? The sole of our feet, our heel, right? So, and we want the electricity to move up and gently up past the heart around and down the right hip, leg, down the right foot, back into Mother Earth, back up around again, and that keeps arcing. So this is like the energetic flow of like different wheels, different, more chakra, more to incorporate than just chakra stuff. There's energetic flow of the systems. And then mercury can be poison, right? You never want to have mercury or eat it really. So even though everybody's played with mercury and what have you. And the mercurial rivers is what's always been, it flows underneath the pyramids and what have you. It's anything that's been protected, mercurial rivers. Like aluminum come up from the soil, right? But we get little doses of mercury and aluminum and what have you when we get vaccinations. Things of that nature, because we're incorporating the metallic elementals into the human vessel. So then, okay, so then think of the story with like Prometheus and the hawk, the eagle that comes in to takes the liver all the time, which is also from alcohol, right? If you're a big drinker, this is also relevant to this story. Archangels, AA, 12 and 12, 144. Highest empaths. We go through the dirt and the, right? We go through. Okay. So most that have experienced that will definitely, I think, relate with what I'm saying in these stories, because part of, it's like Plutonian, Prometheus, Neptunian, Poseidon, right? Andromeda, you know, the whole, sea goat, Capricorn brings in the Capricorn into this, right? So physicalities, and Mercury and Capricorn are kind of like the juniors of self of Saturn, and Mars, right? Because then the sun's a stargate, so it's like that slide coming through last, so to speak. Um, so to make the flow of Mercury, okay, sorry I went into all that because it was kind of, because that's just how I operate. Because there's so many multi-dimensions that are, right? So many different languages. So if we think of where our heart, our human heart is, okay? Like think of the crescent moon as being here. I don't know if you see it like that. So like a crescent moon is like a magnet, okay? So we want to keep the flow going so that it's constantly taking the mercurial rivers, okay, like a horseshoe. So there's like a crescent moon here. Please again excuse the but anyhow, yeah, in all forms, fuck racism, fuck any kind of prejudice, no judgment zone, judgment free zone, eyes closed. Then how would you judge things if you didn't already have a perception of what they were and your eyes were shut, right? Then what would you call something? How would you describe what it looks like? You know, if you just meet people in a room, don't do anything dangerous with that whole blindfolding crap with that Bird Box movie. That shit makes me really angry that people did some, like, I don't even understand. See, common sense says, like, yeah, again, yeah, why would you get in a car and drive, like, again, what, that's just, you know, so anyhow, but, okay, so again, metaphorically, so this is the issue with why human people try to bring everything so literal, like that it happened in that form exactly, and that's how it was and is, and it's like, yeah, and maybe in some version of a way, but like it could be really fun. It's like not really how you're thinking it is, so you're not even allowing like the funny to come in because you think it's so much something else. Anyway, part of this, see, okay, and you know what, that happens when you got lightning, only one side of your DNA activated, right? And it's bouncing up and down your fucking spine like a fucking ding 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 ding, and everybody's like wondering why they're going like crazy all the time in circles, right? Because they got lightning up and down, back and forth, right? Satan and Eve, back and forth across this flat earth, back and forth, right? Back and forth, can't go that way, fine. Back and forth. So this, having the rainbow arc, okay, allows, we'll say like Osiris or Thor, what, and the bear, Horus. Okay, anyhow, it's so many different, so I'm getting Osiris, so Osiris raising from the dead, okay, is coming up the left leg, so it's electricity, because same as Thor from above hand, so, right, in the skies, Thor, Hermes, so many different names, okay, that multiple personalities of, right, and then apply to self in the body, because those are all for us to also apply to our personal self, okay, all the names of all of the character aspects, or, you know, archetypes, or whatever you want to call it, personalities of said, right, OG individuals that now we're all a huge big blended family. We all carry these aspects of self, and it's like seeing which, you know, it's finding how much huger your family is, right? It's pretty big, right? And the more we all learn to share with one another, you know, and not try to hide things from one another and omit information and pretend things didn't really happen, or, you know, have ulterior motives, because they're all seen now. It's like transparency. You know, Pluto wanted transparency. That was definite. The wish of Pluto, that was Pluto wish. What do you want? Transparency. So, you know, that means everyone, we are all responsible for how we behave, right? And how we treat one another. You know, God said, treat others how thou would like to be treated, and to thine own self be true. So that doesn't mean to thine own self be true means, here's where I'm gonna really get you, right? That I know who I am because of the Matrix program I was programmed with, so therefore I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Well, we were all where we were supposed to be to learn what we have learned up into, again, this point in the present now time, and we still are. But those things are only a 3% of energy, and that right is falling because it's down here, and then we had to like let it like, it's like if you shake something up, then you gotta let it sit a while. You ever try to open a bottle of club soda or something? If you add something to it, or vinegar baking soda, that's a messy one. But lost my lighter. So things like that. Okay, everything is alchemy. Everything is alchemizing chemistry and shit. So, and everything is water, and there's many different waters, right? So, right, there's lakes, there's rivers, there's oceans, there's streams, waterfalls, the ether, right? I'm sure there's so many more I'm not naming. Sorry, I got chilly. But, so, and then the elements, it's like when we go bake, and you ever bake or cooking in the kitchen, right? It's like you're mixing things together, right? So, and you ever heard you can't open the oven until the cake is done or it'll fall, right? You gotta wait until it's done. Don't open the pot of rice. So stuff like that. It's like we're just learning that we are that, holy grail walking around, the cup of, particular elements that each of us are compartmentalized of. It's like the periodic table. You could think of yourself as a flat earth, or maybe like the periodic table, like that's your microchip in the center of you, right? It makes your elements. And then it's like a cup of, then we're like the hourglass, right? Sand glass with water, right? And so depending on what we put in, and not just physically, drinking and eating this way, what we are putting into our physical, it's what are we putting in and what are we putting out. So what am I allowing in right now at this point, like, right? Because we're trying to let things run off and allow things to go that no longer serve us, and then we want to allow in, right, pure knowledge, and we can only do that by being present in our moment, because then we're aware where we're supposed to be, because we're in the vibe, right? We're in tune, right? We're able to discern if something feels not right or not, right? Because he was in a rush or aggravated. So, that's our responsibility as individuals now on this point, because we're all mothers, brothers, sisters, fathers, uncles, aunts, teachers, students, always hand in hand and hand in hand, all at once at the same time. Because the right, just throughout a conversation, think of the different way, like that's like fatherly, that's like how an uncle was, think of the different vibrations you feel, or or the different dialect that you can compare it to. And then you have more understanding sometimes of the more ancient stories or new, because they're still same, just recreated in, multiple, multiverse, multiversions, versions. Always play with the words, right? Oh my, they sound the same too. They carry a lot of the same vibration, but sometimes those can still be two different entities. They get, crisscrossed sometimes because they're so close, and like attracts like. So sometimes those blends mix with each other more often. And it doesn't always mean that those two in past stories have had human intercourse, physical human intercourse. The word sex also means sacred energy exchange. So right now, we're all having sex because I'm sharing sacred knowledge with you, and you're sharing with me as well. I have a platform to share, and I also, because that's how it feels when I'm on the other platforms I'm on. It's a give and receive, and it's a beautiful energetic exchange, and that's sacred because it's coming pure from our heart chakra. We're coming from a pure space, right? Which is virginic. It's pure, which is sacred. It's a sacred energy exchange. It's an acronym. So it sounds like I have a knock on my door. I'm going to answer that, and I'll pop back on in a little